Leverage is one of the most powerful tools in wealth creation, and most people have a misunderstanding about leverage. Some think it's a tool only for the rich. Some actually avoid it completely because they think it's gonna make them feel. But leverage is neither good nor bad because leverage amplifies your mistakes and also your success. Today we're going to learn what leverage is, how to use leverage, and how wealthy people use it to create wealth, and some of the mistakes people make that destroy wealth. Leverage is simply using someone else's time, someone else's money, and someone else's knowledge to amplify or to build capital for yourself. There are three main types of leverage. One is the financial leverage. This is where you borrow someone else's money or you use someone else's money as capital for your business. Two, we have the time leverage. This is where you employ someone else or you delegate something you could have been doing to someone else so as to save you time. And lastly, we talk about the knowledge leverage, which is where you use systems and expertise to leverage your work. I want you to notice that leverage is a force multiplier, and without it, your results remain based on your time, based on your knowledge, and based on the opportunities that you have. And of course, the rules always change when you use leverage. So let's get into our first type of leverage, and that is the financial leverage. So financial leverage is the most common type of leverage that so many people know about because this is where you borrow money to use. For example, when we talk about you use mortgage to buy rental property and then you pay it in time, or you use a credit card to expand your business, or the use of margin to invest in the stock market. The wealthy people don't fear debt. They only fear unproductive debt. And that is something that all of us should actually be trained to fear. Financial leverage only works when assets which are bought using the debt or any other leverage actually produces cash flow or appreciation. Two, the cost of the debt is lower than the return. And lastly, you have a system to manage the risk and the repayment. Mistake happens when people take leverage or use leverage for a lifestyle, or they use it to buy things that they consume, and that is where leverage becomes a trap. On to our second leverage, which is the time leverage. This is using other people's time to do the work you're supposed to do within a short period of time. For example, when we talk about you employing others to do a work for you, or you looking for a freelancer, of course it saves you time, it saves you energy. Without time leverage, you actually trade your hours for dollars. And that's why most of the people, they have to work for them to earn. That is you giving out your time for someone else's money. And that is a wealthy person using time leverage on you. With time leverage, your work scales above and beyond your ability, beyond your effort. And you will find most of the time that the wealthy people don't do work by themselves. As written by Napoleon Hill in his book Think and Grow Rich, he talks about having a group of people, one whom you can consult, people who can advise you, people who can help you. Of course, people who can work for you. These are people who will provide you with the knowledge. So as you are in your journey of building wealth, you need to look for people who work for you, providing you the time leverage. And with that, you will be building teams and systems. Onto knowledge leverage. So this is where you use systems, you use expertise to get what you want. For example, if you are a teacher and you decide to have digital products, you decide to write books and sell them out, that is an effort which will actually pay you for a long period of time without you working. That is knowledge leverage. You do the work once, but it pays you for a very long time. That is knowledge leverage. So by combining the three leverage, wealthy people remain wealthy. And this is how. For example, in real estate, one, they'll use borrowed fund or credit or call it mortgage to buy the property. 2, with the time, they will hire a property manager. And 3, with the knowledge, they will build systems that help them find clients. So once they have the finances to buy more properties, they hire managers, property managers, and with that, they also build in systems that can help them find tenants. And you will always see a system flowing without them having to work, because one, they have their financial leverage at work, time leverage at work, and knowledge leverage at work. Because leverage is a multiplier of time, money, and knowledge. You also need to know that leverage amplifies mistakes as much as it amplifies success. For example, when you borrow without a payment plan, that is a problem. When you use credit for lifestyle, that is a problem. When you ignore market risk, that is a problem. And when you use leverage for lifestyle and not assets, those are problems. So the rule is never borrow to consume, always borrow to produce. And that's why in my previous video, when I talk about credit, I also mentioned that you can use credit to build wealth. Of course, I'm going to talk about in my next video on how to use credit to build wealth. That is, you leveraging debt to build wealth. So leverage is not a shortcut. It is a strategy amplifier. If you don't have a strategy, it will just amplify the mistakes, and it will amplify that you don't know where you're going. It will amplify that you're actually gazing your way through. So leverage is a tool that helps you amplify your money, time, and opportunity, and it is not a magic solution. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for my next video on how to leverage credit for wealth creation. Stay blessed by the best and see you in my next video.